Since text files are commonly used in Linux, it is important to know that there is a difference between text files in DOS or Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Each of these operating systems use different characters to indicate the end of the line in text files, also referred to as the line terminator. Windows uses two characters, control and line feed, represented with /r/n. Mac OS just uses the control character, /r, and Unix, or in our case Linux, uses line feed, which is /n. In the line ending subdirectory, I have a file for each of these line terminations. We can use the file command to verify the files have the correct line endings. We see that the DOS or Windows file uses control line feed for line termination. Mac OS uses control, and the Unix file uses the normal line termination for Linux, which is a line feed. We can use the Vim editor to look at the files and see for ourselves. When we first start Vim, we don't see anything different about the DOS file. This is because Vim is trying to be helpful and automatically detected the file was from Windows. To force it to use Unix line endings, we need to set the following option. Control-E ++FF equals Unix. We see each line in the DOS file is terminated with $M, except the last line, which doesn't have a line terminator. The $M is what Vim displays when it detects the control character. A new line is still displayed since DOS or Windows files use the line feed character, which is what Linux uses to terminate a line. If we look at the Mac OS file, all we see are the $M symbols with all the text on one line. Since Mac OS doesn't use the line feed as part of the line terminator, Vim doesn't know that a line ended. There are a number of ways to convert files from one type to another. The two utilities sed and awk, which we saw in a previous video, can be used to convert between file types. The utility tr can also be used. However, the simplest possible way is to use the utilities DOS to Unix and Unix to DOS. Notice that they may not be installed by default on your system, but they are easy to install. To convert a Unix file to Windows format, we simply use the following command. I'm first going to copy the file to a temporary file for our demonstration. Unix to DOS temp.txt. Notice that it now uses control and line feed for line termination. By default, Unix to DOS modifies the original file. If we want the utility to create a new file with the changes, we can use the -n option. To DOS -n sample Unix file, and then the output file. Notice this worked the same, except I didn't have to use the temporary file to begin with. We can also use this command to convert the Unix file to Mac OS format using the -c option. Unix to DOS -c Mac, and then our file name temp.txt. Notice that it now uses just the control character for line termination. To convert a DOS or Windows file to Unix format, we use the command DOS to Unix. DOS to Unix temp.text. Notice that it's just a normal ASCII text file, which means that it uses the default line terminator for Linux. We can also use the DOS to Unix command to convert the Mac OS file to Unix format. We can do this by specifying the original file that is in Mac format using the -C option. So DOS to Unix -C Mac temp.text. And file temp.text, and it's a Unix format. As with the Unix to DOS command, we could use the -N option to create a new file rather than modify the original file. As I mentioned, there are other ways to convert files to and from Unix format that are useful if you don't have access to these two utilities. However, these two utilities are the easiest way.